Libraries are the depository of stories, and that's where I want to be. It's always been about the pursuit of a good story.
It's a place of infinite possibility, so when you see all of those books on the shelves, just think of them. Every one of those books is your friend just waiting to tell you their story.
If you need peace of mind and everything in life is driving you crazy, you can get in that car, turn the ignition, go to the library.
Growing up, you kind of take it for granted. Then when you have children, you realize how important it is to have a place where they can explore and learn and see different books and then be around other kids. That's what I like about it.
The first library in Anoka County was in the city of Anoka, starting in the late 1800s. In 1957 was when the county board then created the Anoka County Library System, and we opened up for business in 1958. This building, the Northtown Library, was our first official library that was built in the early 60s. Grown from just a couple of buildings to 9 buildings. Just this year we're going to be remodeling and expanding one of our libraries, our Centennial Library, and that library has been in operation since 1957 as well, so we've got a nice rich history. Technology has changed over time. Our collections have grown in the last 60 years. As technology grows and changes, so does the library, and we kind of recreate ourselves over and over again. And ebooks, people are still reading, it's just a different format, and so I expect that the paper book will always be here. I think there's a benefit to being able to sit down with a child and look at a picture together and talk about that story in a way that you can't necessarily do on a tablet or a phone, but the way we tell stories is still important in keeping that history alive.
My name is Rosalind Hope. I'm the outreach librarian. I started working 30 years ago on April 1st, 1988, so April Fool's Day is not the most auspicious day to begin your career, but it worked out. So I was 4 years old. I went to Story Hour with my little brother, and he cried because he had to stay, and I cried if I couldn't go. So that's the difference between us. And for me, stories, that's always been what it's about. I love stories. But libraries have to be about more than books to survive.
Well, what do we have outside today? Rain? How do we say rain? It's rainy and it's kind of cloudy today. Good morning. So it's a great day to be at the library for story time, and I bet you want to hear a story.
We have a 2.5-year-old and an 18-month-old, and what's nice about the story time is that it's not just reading a story.
Clap with me and get ready to sing loud.
It's very engaging, and they get the kids to stand up and jump and play and sing.
Oh, hey, oh, hi, hello. Oh, hey, oh, hi, hello. Oh, hey, oh, hi, oh, hey, oh, hi, hello. Hi, boys and girls.
And we really like it. It's close by, and it's just a lot of fun.
You can come in for programs. We have all sorts of programs for all ages. We have the internet stations, which are lifesavers for people who don't have access to the internet at home.
I don't have a computer, not interested in one at the moment, and so I like to be able to come to the library and use the computer to get on in my email, because nowadays for a job and for almost anything you need email.
We serve the whole community, so that means from birth through senior citizens.
I came to have some help with my smartphone. There's some settings I didn't understand. When I get in my car, no voice.
Do you have...
So I have Bluetooth. There's not a lot of other sources to go to get help.
Ah, Bluetooth. All right, now try and navigate with your phone to see if she talks.
Especially your smartphone and emails and computers.
Starting route to 425 Boulevard Northeast.
Okay.
So I jumped at this chance to come to the library.
Oh, see, the library is wonderful.
And so I think there's lots of opportunities like that at the library, regardless of what your age is.
I love growing up on the farm.
So there's songwriting workshops and writing workshops and lecture series, and there's many ways to learn, and we try to provide opportunity in all kinds of different formats to learn new things.
Our library is the very big source for all multicultural. All different culture peoples come in the library.
As the community grows and changes, so too does library service. As people move into the community, do we have books in the languages that they need? Do we have services in the languages that they need?
We start from the library. I think that is the foundation for the parents to start the good education, yes.
The role of the library is still the same, that we are a place of lifelong learning for all ages. We are a place of research assistance and instruction. We're a place to build a community, to learn about new cultural opportunities and programs.
I think the community does use the library a lot and is very appreciative that we have the library here.